Good evening. Namaste, everyone. Greetings to all of you on the occasion of Durga Ashtami today. And I'm Dr. Nidhi Shendurnikar from Nucleus of Learning and Development. And as all of you are aware, we have gathered today on this very auspicious occasion to discuss a very interesting topic in the form of a webinar, as well as launch Ankur sir's book digitally on Shastriya parenting, instilling Saatvik Samskar in the next generation. I'm pleased to welcome all participants on behalf of Team NLD. This is a webinar and digital book launch that we are doing as part of our Indian Knowledge System series. And as all of you are aware, at NLD, we are committed to the dissemination of Indian knowledge systems, especially through faculty development programs, webinars, certificate courses, programs, and trainings, especially for faculty members. So it is my great pleasure to welcome all our esteemed guests, as well as our resource person for today's webinar, Dr. Ankur Joshi sir, for this webinar and book launch. I am also pleased to welcome Professor Rajen Gupta sir, as well as Dr. Sandeep Atre sir, who have joined us for this session. Also, a warm welcome to Professor Harsh Purohit sir, who's the Dean of Management Studies at Vanasthali Vidyapith. Welcome to all of you. Before we begin the webinar, I would like to offer brief introductions to our esteemed guests today. First, Professor Rajen Gupta sir. Professor Gupta is a respected academic and management thinker with wide experience in teaching, research, and consulting. Formerly, he was a professor at MDI Gurgaon and IIM Lucknow. He has contributed to executive education, doctoral supervision, and curriculum design, specifically in management studies. His research highlights the need to adapt management thought to the Indian context, questioning the direct transfer of Western models. He has studied at prestigious institutes like IIT Kanpur and IIM Ahmedabad. He has been widely published in journals and forums, and he engages with multiple issues across topics such as leadership, governance, and organizational change. Along with his contribution to academia, he has consulted and contributed across sectors, mentoring leaders and shaping strategy with a balanced blend of theory and practical insight, especially from a Bharatiya perspective. Professor Gupta, we are delighted to welcome you to this session, and I'm glad that you are here. I'm sure your presence, as well as the presence of Dr. Sandeep sir and Harsh sir, is extremely special for Ankur sir today. Our next guest for this webinar and digital book launch is Dr. Sandeep Atre. And I believe sir has also written a foreword to this book. And I just have a copy of this book with me, which Ankur sir sent to me a few days ago. Dr. Sandeep Atre is a counseling psychologist and an internationally recognized specialist in emotional intelligence training. He's the founder of Social Allegiance. I hope I pronounced it correctly, sir. A venture specializing in development of social and emotional intelligence through its e-learning course rooted in neuroscience and psychology. I must say, I think such a venture is the need of the day, especially for teenagers and young adults. He's also the co-founder of CH Edge Makers, a leading coaching group of Central India. He has authored exceptionally well-researched yet easy-to-understand books with titles such as Understanding Emotions Logically and Observing Nonverbal Behavior, and also Psychologist Prescribes. There is also another book that he has authored that is called Two Paras of Everyday Wisdom. His collection of nazms and ghazals is published as a book titled Baat Jazbaat Ki. In his career of more than 2 decades, he has trained professionals of more than 50 companies and scores of individuals to sort out and excel in intrapersonal and interpersonal matters. And he also has his own YouTube channel. And I would request, sir, as we proceed with the session, to kindly share the link of his YouTube channel with us in the chat box. So welcome, Dr. Sandeep, sir. It's nice to have you with us. And I was just going through the book and really excited to read it. And of course, read what you have written in the forward as well. So now I briefly invite Rajan Gupta, sir, and Sandeep, sir, to share a few words before we begin. But I would also, at the same time, extend a very warm welcome to Harsh Purohit, sir. Welcome, sir. I can see you on the screen. You were present in the last session.
नमस्ते नमस्ते सभी को
नमस्ते सर, नमस्ते, स्वागत है आपका. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा आज आप जुड़े हैं हमारे साथ. Sir, Ankur sir told me that you were traveling, had a busy schedule, but it's great to have you here. Harsh sir is the Dean of Management Studies at Banastali Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan. So in the presence of these esteemed guests and experts, we'll be happy to do a digital book launch of Ankur sir's book, and of course also hear from him more about the book and of course about the topic Shastriya parenting. So I invite Rajan Gupta sir to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you very much for introducing me. And I'm really delighted to join this online launch of Dr. Ankur Joshi's book. I'm especially delighted because Ankur was my student in MDI Gurgaon, and I always liked his understanding and dedication to the Shastric knowledge of India. And though PhD makes a lot of us very, very abstract and theoretical only, I'm glad to see that Ankur has always retained his ability to express Shastric knowledge in a very simple language. I do wish to mention that Ankur also, I have really enjoyed Ankur's sense of humor, which he brought into the classes where I taught. Ankur sent me the soft copy of the book, and just a couple of days back. So I did take a look at it, and I have read the first 2 chapters, and I was really happy to see that how he is communicating very deep Shastric knowledge in such very simple language which can be understood by every parent and prospective parent. So I'm really happy to be here, to be a part of this launch. And I look forward to listening to other dignitaries present and then to Ankur's own talk related to the subject. Thank you very much, Nidhi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your words of wisdom and enlightenment. And I am sure Ankur sir is very delighted that you have joined. It's always very special to have one's teacher join such a session. And initially, when we discussed that we would like to do such a session, the idea of launching the book digitally for a wider audience was put through, and at NLD we are glad that we have been able to accomplish this. Thank you so much, and we look forward to your presence in the session as we go ahead. Dr. Sandeep Patre sir is also here with us today. I invite him to share a few words and also his insights on the book. By the way, the book for the knowledge of all our participants is published by Navjeevan Publications, Jaipur, Rajasthan. And for the participants of this particular session, we'll be sharing a Google form link very soon in the WhatsApp group so that you can purchase this book at a discounted rate. So the objective of this session is, of course, to talk about Shastriya parenting. I believe that at least some of you who have joined are parents or going to be parents, would be parents, or teachers, mentors to young adults and children in different stages of life. And I'm very sure that these insights will help you in dealing with children and young adults in whatever ways you are working with them. So over to you, Dr. Sandeep sir.
Thank you, Nidhi ji. नमस्कार हर्ष सर, नमस्कार राजेंद्र जी. और मेरी आवाज आ रही है निधि जी?
जी बिल्कुल सर, आपकी आवाज क्लियरली आ रही है.
मेरी फेवरेट कहावतों में से एक है, what you leave for your children is inheritance and what you leave in your children is legacy. आप अपने बच्चों के लिए जो छोड़ के जाते हैं उसको वसीयत कहते हैं, और अपने बच्चों में जो छोड़ के जाते हैं उसे विरासत कहते हैं. मुझे लगता है 3 लोगों के पास अपनी विरासत छोड़ने की प्रिविलेज सबसे ज़्यादा होती है. एक पेरेंट, एक लीडर और एक टीचर. और मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि आज वो विरासत मैं 2 तरह से आगे बढ़ते हुए देख रहा हूँ. कैसे? पहले ऐसा कहा जाता है कि इंसान दरअसल सिर्फ 2 लोगों की कामयाबी असल में पचा पाता है विसरली, एक अपने संतान की और एक अपने शिष्य की. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे लिए ये कामयाबी जो दिख रही है सामने, ये इसलिए और ज़्यादा सेलिब्रेशन का रीज़न बन जाती है, क्योंकि उस छोटे से वक्त में जो अंकुर ने मेरे साथ बिताया उसके मेंटर की तरफ, उसमें मुझे लगता है मैंने जो भी कुछ विरासत अंकुर के भीतर छोड़ी होगी, वो अंकुर एक टीचर बन के विरासत को मल्टीप्लाई करता हुआ और आगे की तरफ जाने दे रहे हैं. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. अब इसी को देखिए ना, कितनी कमाल की बात है. मैं डॉक्टर अंकुर जोशी बोलने की 3 बार ट्राई कर चुका हूँ और हर बार निकलता सिर्फ अंकुर है. शायद कई बार एक टीचर जो है वो टीचर की तरह रह जाता है. दूसरा, लेगेसी छोड़ने का जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट तरीका है वो पेरेंटिंग है. हमारे यहाँ माँ और पिता कभी भी एक शख्स नहीं थे, वो हमेशा कॉन्सेप्ट्स थे. हमारे यहाँ माँ, नानी माँ, दादी माँ, बड़ी माँ, छोटी माँ, मासी, मामा, हमारे यहाँ सब माँ है. हमारे यहाँ पिता जो है वो परम पिता परमेश्वर, हम परमेश्वर में भी पिता ही देखते हैं. तो एक तरह की विरासत जो पेरेंट्स छोड़ते हैं, जैसे कि निदा फाजली अपने फादर की मौत पे जब नज्म लिखते हैं तो उसकी आखिरी लाइनें होती हैं कि मैं तुम्हारी कब्र में दफन हूँ, तुम मेरे जिस्म में जिंदा हो, कभी फुर्सत मिले तो फातिहा पढ़ने चले आना. तो मुझे लगता है कि कितनी अमेजिंग बात है कि हमारे अंदर हमारे पेरेंट्स, उनके पेरेंट्स और उनके पेरेंट्स, ये हमेशा आगे चलते जाते हैं. इसलिए पेरेंटिंग के ऊपर जब एक टीचर ने लिखा हो तो मुझे लगता है कि ये शहद में डूबा हुआ गुड़ है, क्योंकि पहले तो विरासत पेरेंटिंग की और फिर उस पे टीचिंग की विरासत. और यकीन मानिए, डॉक्टर अंकुर जोशी की इस किताब को पढ़ते वक्त आपको बार बार ऐसा लगेगा कि काश ये हमें पहले पता होता, और कई लोगों को मजाकिया अंदाज में कहूँगा ये भी लगेगा काश ये हमारे माता पिता को पता होता। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो कामयाबी सबसे बड़ी होती है एक पुस्तक की, कि आप एक पन्ना पढ़ें और उसके बाद सोचें काश ये पहले पढ़ा होता। तो इस तरह के बहुत सारे पन्नों में जो विजडम डॉक्टर अंकुर जोशी ने रखी है, उसको आज वो एक स्नैपशॉट की तरह शेयर करेंगे। अंकुर, हम सब की तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ और बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर संदीप सर, थैंक यू सो मच। बहुत ही अच्छी बातें कही आपने और हमारी उत्सुकता और बढ़ गई है बुक के बारे में जानने की और इस सेशन को आगे बढ़ाने की। क्विकली आई विल नाउ इनवाइट प्रोफेसर हर्ष पुरोहित सर टू शेयर अ फ्यू वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम विद द गैदरिंग।
धन्यवाद निधि जी। सभी को नमस्ते। मेरे विचार से तो राजेंद्र सर ने और संदीप अत्रे जी ने जो बातें कही हैं, अब उसके बाद में तो और कुछ बोलने को शेष रह नहीं जाता। उन्होंने सब चीज़ें जो हैं ऑलरेडी कवर कर ली। लेकिन मैं बस यही कहूँगा कि मैं मानता हूँ कि भगवान मुझे बहुत प्यार करते हैं, क्योंकि मेरी टीम में उन्होंने अंकुर जी जैसे व्यक्ति को दिया और काफ़ी उनसे मुझे सीखने को मिलता है। और हमारे स्टूडेंट्स और स्टाफ मेंबर्स का क्या कहना, क्योंकि मुझे अंकुर जी में एक बहुत अनूठी बात जो लगती है वो ये लगती है कि जितना वो भारतीय संस्कृति इसमें स्ट्रांग है, उतना ही वो टेक्नोलॉजी में भी स्ट्रांग है। तो ये कॉम्बो जो है वो देखने को थोड़ा सा कम मिलता है। तो बहुत अच्छा है। और निधि जी, बहुत अच्छा आपने सुअवसर दिया कि हम लोग सब साथ हैं, एंड लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू हियरिंग टू डॉक्टर अंकुर जी।
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for joining despite your busy schedule. So, क्योंकि हमने सोचा है कि हम इस बुक को डिजिटली लॉन्च करें. Yes, participants, please don't worry. The majority of the session is going to be in English, and I'll request Ankur sir, if he is speaking something in Hindi, kindly sir provide a little bit of a translation, because we have participants, I believe, from all parts of the country, especially the southern part of the country, and they would face some challenges with Hindi. So yes, please don't worry.
Sorry, I would just for the benefit of the audience, what I said was that I consider that God loves me a lot because I have Dr. Ankur Joshi in my team. So that was the most important thing.
Thank you so much, sir. So since we have planned this session as both a webinar and a digital book launch, I am now very pleased to share the book cover with all of you. I hope you can see my screen. Ankur sir, is my screen visible? Yes. So here is the book for all of you, Shastriya Parenting, Instilling Saatvik Samskar in the Next Generation by Dr. Ankur Joshi sir, published by Navjeevan Publication, Jaipur, Rajasthan. And as you can see, the most important tagline of the book is a step forward towards real purpose of human life. So this is an interesting book, I believe, very timely, very relevant, contemporary, and on a very important subject, published in the year 2025. And at NLD, we are glad that we could participate in this opportunity to not just bring the book across to a wider spectrum of audience, but also hear from the author himself about the idea of Shastriya parenting, as well as what motivated sir to write this book. In fact, I was just sharing with Ankur sir a few days ago, I came across a lot of courses and sessions on dharmic parenting, on Hindu parenting, and there is a sudden surge of interest in these kind of concepts and ideas among parents or among to-be parents, because as Sandeep sir said, that parenting is a very responsible task. Parenting and teaching, both of these tasks are very, very daunting, challenging, responsible, not to be taken lightly. And if your style of parenting, if your concepts of parenting are rooted in your own culture, in your own traditional ethos, it makes a huge difference to your child's life. So this is the book, and as I said, we will be sharing a Google form with all the registered participants of this webinar. Just knowing about the book from the author is not enough. I would encourage all of you to take a look at this book. Go ahead, buy it. The publisher has agreed to offer it at a discounted rate for the participants of this webinar. So glad to participate in the digital launch, and congratulations to Ankur sir, I think, on another successful publication, a very important one, and we eagerly await to hear from him. Let me quickly introduce Ankur sir before I hand over the platform to him. Dr. Ankur Joshi is an assistant professor, and he also leads the MBA program at FMS Wisdom, Banasthali Vidyapeeth. He's a fellow of MDI Gurgaon in public policy and governance. He completed his doctoral research on the Gurukul education system. As a creative and innovative researcher in the fields of governance and management, his focus is on Bharatiya indigenous knowledge traditions to develop solutions for contemporary challenges. He also served as a visiting professor at Vijay University during 2020 to 2024 for courses on integrative spiritual care. He is also the principal investigator for an educational project at Banasthali in collaboration with Burzog and Klan Group from the Netherlands. He, under the guidance of the Dean of the Faculty, Professor Harsh Purvat sir, who's with us today, Ankur sir actively contributes to research, training, and teaching initiatives. He has worked in 3 research projects as a coordinator in the National Center for Corporate Governance, supported by NFCG under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. He's also been the coordinator of the annual refresher program in teaching initiatives of AICTE and Ministry of Education. In fact, I have had the opportunity to listen to a few of his lectures on one of the portals, so I would be sharing that link as well with all of you. He has worked in developing the integrative spiritual care course under Professor Sharda Nandram at Vijay University. And of course, apart from guiding and mentoring students on a day-to-day basis, Sir has created online modules, conducted training sessions for faculty members, civil servants, and that just goes on to prove how he's dedicated to education and technology both. His doctoral scholars explore novel ideas rooted in Bharatiya culture and wisdom. He has published around 30 papers and book chapters in the domains of Bharatiya ethos, indigenous research, Bharatiya management systems, and social entrepreneurship. In fact, just this year, we had hosted him at NLD for an FDP on Indian knowledge systems research, and he'll be doing this FDP with us next week very, very soon. So, Ankur sir, pleased to welcome you to this session, and we now wait to hear from you about Shastriya parenting as well as about your book.
Namaste everyone, Namaste Nidhi ji. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and my pranam to Rajen sir, Sandeep sir, and Harsh sir, and all the colleagues who have joined, some of friends and family members. I'll share my screen, and although the presentation part is very less, it has a few components, so mainly we can take more questions also after that. And so I'll quickly share the screen and have some key points just mentioned on those. So I hope it is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you so much, Nidhi and NLD for this opportunity. So beginning with this idea in this presentation, I have tried to bring in three dimensions of Shastri parenting. That is the why part, what and how. So before that, my again gratitude to all the family members, the Acharyajan in Gurukul, the teachers and mentors, colleagues and friends, and students also who have helped in developing my teaching skills also. So one fine day, I was discussing with students that for the last 10, 15 years, most of the times we have been speaking to them in the classes, and because of which a lot of public speaking skills and the stage fear goes out, the public speaking becomes better. So the students provide so many opportunities, and hopefully I thought that I told them that we should be able to help you also in that regard. So the role of students is also very useful. So coming to the first part, I'll not take much time to come to the matter. So why Shastri parenting? The most important thing that most of you might have also realized that we spent a large number of time in schools and colleges, and basically which is a huge disaster for us, because 3 years in nursery, kindergarten, 12 years in schooling, then 3 or 4 years in graduation, and sometimes 2 years in post graduation and PhD also. So this is a huge time that we are investing with this modern education system in the education processes, and which is not required. And even if we continue with this system, but the very essential topics like parenting is they are rarely discussed in the formal education system. Apart from few courses like parenthood or in home science, nobody discusses these ideas. And schools are not doing it, and same it is not happening in the families or other informal settings. So the young generation, most of the time we see that they are not oriented on uh, what aspects of life matter most to them. We teach all those things. We teach about universe, we teach about space, physics, chemistry, maths, biology, zoology, commerce, accounts, finance, law, and this whole gamut of the syllabus and the courses. Uh, most of the things are not mostly useful in such topics like parenting, as Rajan sir, Sandeep sir, and Harsh sir have already highlighted. So the most the prominent reason is here, and while writing this book, before writing this book, when we were discussing with Sandeep sir on these ideas, so we just created a WhatsApp group, and I tried to just put it on the WhatsApp. I didn't promote it much. So there are about 50, 60 parents who are associated there, and many of them had questions as to what to do, because there are no answers about certain aspects of parenting. Some people are fortunate to have discussions with the psychologist who can explain these ideas, but uh, there is a dearth of these discussions about parenting itself. So what is Shastri parenting? As it's there in on my book also. So I have taken two dimensions of like how to instill those sanskar in the next generation. Sandeep sir was talking about the virasat idea. So most important aspect is like those sanskar. We talk about Shodash sanskar, and in that 15th is marriage, and before that there are 14 other sanskar, and most of these ideas have dried out of our system. If it happens at many places, then it is more of show sharaba, more of dance parties, more of dinners, more of parties, etc. But rarely those ideas get discussed. Even the child who is going through those sanskars At the earlier stage, it is okay that child is not aware, but like in Upnayan or Janev Sanskar, most of the time the child who is undergoing those Sanskar is not aware of what is the importance of this Sanskar. And all the family members, the friends, the colleagues, they would do dance, they would do party, they would do all such things except the original Sanskar, discussion on the original Sanskar. So if we are able to instill that, that is the important thing. And second is, uh, sometimes it's too much of possessiveness about the child itself. So I'll talk about it when we talk about grihasthi. I'll talk about more of it. So it is a step forward, not just for the child, but for the parents also. Uh, the Shankaracharya of Puri, Jagannath Puri, once the current Shankaracharya ji, Swami Nishyananand Saraswati ji, he beautifully talked about the idea of being in a transition or moving in a journey. So he said that what's the importance of speed if we don't reach the destination? In Hindi, he mentioned that if there is no gantavya, gantavya is the destination. So then what is the importance of gati, that is the speed? So a large number of people don't see that parenting is also needed to graduate from it. So not to remain in this growth phase. The next transition is also important, about which I will come in the how part. So these were 2 points. I kept it very brief about why and what, because I understand most of the people would be interested in knowing how to do this. So how part is most important here. So first dimension is like understanding the 3 gun of nature that are sattva, rajas, and tamas, and which can be represented in this graphical manner. So this sattva, rajas, tamas have been there everywhere. These 3 gun, they play their role, and the yellow bar represents the sattva. Although it is represented by white color, but for the simplicity, I have presented it in yellow right now. These colorful dimensions are rajas, and this gray is tamas. So our life, every component of our life has these 3 dimensions of Maya. We got Navratri is going on, and we talk about 3 dimensions of Trigunmai Maya. So Devi Ma Prakriti, the life that we enjoy, everything has these 3 dimensions. So Sattva, when the Sattva is prominent, we are more of a knowledgeable, we think through, we have the discretionary wisdom, we know what is right with what is wrong. It's like an enlightened state. While when the Rajas is prominent, it is more of an action orientation that happens in our life. We are more opportunity. We are looking for opportunities. We are trying to work here and there to gain earn money, focus on growth, etc. And the tamas part, when it is high, it talks about the inertia, the lethargy sometimes that comes. Although it is not to be hated, because tamas is also essential for proper sleep, for proper destruction. So these 3 make a life complete, and the child or a parent, they also will be in different states. So for Shastri parenting to happen, we have to spend our most of the time in this case 1 and case 2. So case 1 will help with more of understanding, spending time to learn, to know what is right, what is wrong, and then graduating to the case 2 to implement it, because here it's the action component. If we do the parenting from the case 3 or case 4 slides, then it would be either dejection from it, letting the child go on its own, or case 3, wherein it would be more of a tamas driven action. So it would be more of a harsh beating or some extreme actions. So for the how part here comes, I'll focus on our own Saatvikta, our own emphasis on moving from tamas to sattva. We talk about asatoma, satgamaya, tamasoma, jyotirgamaya, and mrityorma, amritangamaya. So the transition of parent from this asat to sat and from tamas to jyoti is the first thing that we can see. Now coming to the Grihastha ashram dharma which I was talking about. So there are 4 ashram. First is the Brahmacharya, second is the Grihastha, third is the Vanprastha, and 4 is Sannyas. So a lot of time people say that Grihastha ashram is the best ashram, but it is best only if people graduate out of it. We graduate from school, go to colleges, we graduate from colleges and go to the industry, and in the industry after working, we graduate from there, get retired and go back. But unfortunately, in the past 100 odd years, with the extreme influence of the Western style of living, most of us have stopped graduating from the Grihastha ashram, and we remain rooted in that ashram, Grihastha ashram only whole life. And that is something very devastating, because suppose if someone who works in an industry or an office goes on the 38th of, say, March, he is retired, and if he goes to his office on the 1st April, and people will say, you go out, you cannot log in. Similar thing we need in our life, that Grihastha ashram is not the last ashram. If we dare to enter it, we also need to graduate from it. And this is a big gap, because we see when the young children in 20s, they are married by 25, 27, etc. Most of the ashirwad that are given, okay, enjoy your life. Now, they should be told that it is not the enjoyment phase of life, but the most responsibility driven phase of life, where the young kids would be looking at you with the expectation, where the elders will be looking at you with the expectation. At the same time, if you are in office, you will be expected most to deliver, because you are in that phase of journey. The country would be looking up to you for contribution. So it's a full of responsibility, and this understanding has been getting wiped out, and people see this phase as an enjoyment phase, and which is basically, it is not. Enjoyment can happen if the person follows that approach and knows that this enjoyment and responsibility is about being in a Grihastha ashram. And then this transition to the next generation, these things will automatically flow. How it would flow? So I have just compiled 3 dimensions from the book. One is, that is 3S, so that anybody can easily remember. One is the story. So listening, reading, telling the stories from scriptures, our Ramayana, Puran, Panchatantra, Hitopadesh, etc. Because stories have a big impact, so I won't delve into much of the importance of stories. But it makes the thing very vivid, very lively, easy to emulate, and easy to remember. So stories are very important. Second thing is the Sangharsh, that is we can call it as a productive struggling. I read it in an article by Harvard, and some author had conceptualized it, productive struggling. So we see a lot of parents in the mode that, I'll speak in Hindi sentence and translate also. जो समस्या हमने झेली वो हम अपनी आने वाली पीढ़ी को नहीं झेलने देना चाहते. The problems or the struggle that we had faced in our life, we don't want that the next generation to face it. So this is a recipe for the disaster. That's what Bollywood has given to us after the independence, because the images that has been created of the struggling parents for roti kapda and makan and building houses for the next generation to enjoy, this has made the young generation feel that everything is for granted, and this is impacting our schools, as education system, our homes also. It was, I read a very interesting article, as I mentioned in the Harvard. It was very beautifully mentioned that something which has made you who you are is the Sangarsh. And a long time ago, about 20 years ago, I read a simple line in a newspaper in Hindi that was, जीवन से अगर प्रेम करना है तो संघर्ष से प्रेम करो. Which translate that if you want to love your life, you want to be in love with your life, then be in love with the struggle. So I kept it pasted on my drawer for a long time when I was in school and engineering. So this is the fundamental thing that the next generation now needs to have. And third, which I was talking about, the self-realization, that parents need to know that they are not the creator of that child. That child is a Atma who has taken the life form through us, and that child is also an Atma with some karma phal, with some prarabdha, and we need to graduate and we need to move towards our own spiritual journey, the adhyatmic journey, and graduate, and not to just hold on to the keys of home of always, and not to get into trouble always. So both things are very dangerous. And the old age is not to face all these troubles of family life. That phase is between 25 to 50 or at max 60. And then after 60, it should be the journey towards philosophy, self-realization, adhyatma, and
முதல்ல போய் கதவை துற மெதுவா வர
the
Sorry, I
journey.
think somebody got unmuted by mistake, sir. Sorry for that.
No problem. So that is the transition phase, that the concept of Satchidanand, the Anand itself, is the Atma, is the Ansh or the part of Paramatma, which has full capacity, the bliss, that Anand is beyond translation. And I think the old age is to realize that, and the preparation for that should begin at this early phase of life only, because to be able to go to that stage would require a lot of time, and this journey should incorporate that. So this Shastri parenting not only helps the next generation, but the parent themselves. And as Sandeep sir was talking about, whether people would think that I hope I had read this book, so it will help even in the later stages of parenting also, that how to graduate from it. So this is in a nutshell about the book. Thank you so much, Nidhi ji, NLD, Rajan sir, Sandeep sir, Harsh sir, my family members who have joined, my friends, colleagues, and all the participants. Thank you so much once again. And we can take one or two questions if we have the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ankur sir, for taking us through this journey of Shastriya parenting and giving us a glimpse of the what, why, and how of Shastriya parenting. I'll just like to share with the participants a little bit about the contents of the book. I think somebody is muted. Okay. So chapter 1 is why Shastriya parenting. So I believe the chapter discusses why Shastriya parenting is the need of the hour. Why do we need to undertake parenting from a dharmic lens? The second chapter is the role of samskars, in which
Sorry to interrupt. I have the soft copy, so I can share the screen. It will be easy.
yeah, that's fine, sir. I thought we can.
Yeah. You can please proceed.
Yes. Chapter 3 is Adhyatma and Parenting. Chapter 4 is Infusion of Sattvikta. Chapter 5 is Decoding Grihasthi. The sixth chapter is Family and Parenting, in which there are, Sir has written about Bharatiya activities for homes, family time, contemporary challenges, respectful disagreement, etc. The seventh chapter is on stories, which Sir mentioned in the 3S. And the eighth chapter is Parenting is a Sadhana. And of course, there are references and glossary. So that's a little bit about the contents of the book. But as I said, encourage all of you to go out and buy the book. Yes, I think we have a hand raised. Just a minute. Yes, Raj sir, go ahead please with your question.
जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
अच्छा, आप बॉलीवुड की इन्फ्लुएंस की बात कर रहे थे, उससे पहले मतलब लेट्स गो अबाउट 2 मिलियन ईयर्स अगो, राइट? इस्लाम और क्रिश्चियनिटी आने से पहले, देश में आने से पहले यही तो पेरेंटिंग फॉलो कर रहे थे ना हम लोग। शास्त्रिक पेरेंटिंग ही तो फॉलो कर रहे थे चाणक्य टाइम, उससे पहले चाणक्य तक और 1000 एडी तक यही तो पेरेंटिंग फॉलो कर रहे थे। फिर ये पेरेंटिंग जब था, इतने सारे लोग डर की वजह से, लालच की वजह से कन्वर्ट क्यों हो गए हैं? मतलब ये हमारा ये जो संस्कार हमने दिया है, ये खड़ा होके क्यों अपने को बलवान नहीं बनाया? आज देखते हैं हमारे ही लोग दूसरे रिलीजन में कन्वर्ट होके दूसरे के सपोर्ट में जाके हमारे ही एंटी हो गए, हमारे ही लोग हैं ना बेसिकली। तो ये पेरेंटिंग क्यों इफेक्टिव नहीं बना? ये सिचुएशन में अब आके आया, तो ये जनरेशन को अगर ये पेरेंटिंग देंगे तो क्या मैजिकल रिजल्ट अचीव करेंगे? ये मेरा मतलब एक डाउट है, एक क्वेश्चन है। I'm not challenging anything, just a question that flashed.
Okay, Raji, I think voice was not clear, but I could get your question that this parenting style was in practice for a long time, even long before, but the challenges that we faced because of the invasions and conversion, at that time it couldn't deliver. Is this the question?
Yes, more or less. Yeah, more or less. That's what I mean.
Okay. So see, as I mentioned about this Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, so all things will exist, and because Sattva is also there, Tamas is also there, Rajas is also there, and the human life has so many dimensions that I do not claim that it is only this part of parenting can bring in the system. Like Duryodhan also studied in a Gurukul. So there are many karma phal, as I mentioned, that last part of parents should also know that even if they do all the best, then also it may not turn out because the karma phal is so prominent. So it is more of not the focus on the outcomes, but what best we can do. And there are always deviations that would come. There are always things that could come into a picture. But whatever best we can do from this part, and the life, this concept, your question can be answered better with the help of concept of karma phal. And as it is mentioned in Gita and Bhagavad Puran and other scriptures also, that this complex of karma and karma phal is very, very deep, and it is very complex and has multitudes of factors. So the nishkam karma has to be incorporated, because this is not a guarantee that if these practices are followed, the outcomes are sure. But when we look at the larger scale of what's happening in a mass scenario, so the improvements can be made. So that is the whole idea.
A slight,
Yeah,
if
Rajsan,
Nidhi
can we
permits,
come back to you again
if
because we
Nidhi
have
permits
another
a
hand?
continuation to this.
Rajsan,
Just
please wait a minute. No, please wait
Okay.
a minute.
Okay.
We have another hand raised and little time, so we need to take another question. We'll come back to you if we have time. Yes, Smriti ji, please go ahead with your question.
Namaskar, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Smriti ji, you are audible.
Namaste, sir. Very, very congratulations.
Namaste. Thank you, Smriti ji.
अच्छा, पेरेंटिंग जनरली बहुत सारे डूज और डोंट्स में कैटेगराइज करी जाती है, पहले भी और अभी भी. तो शास्त्रीय लेंस से अगर आप कोई एक डू और एक डोंट बताना चाहें, बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है मुझे पता है, पूरा सिस्टम बहुत वास्ट भी है, पर अगर एक कोई डू या डोंट हमें बताना हो तो वो क्या होगा आपके ओपिनियन में?
Okay, one do and one don't. Do's and don'ts. Okay. Okay, so one do is, as I mentioned, that considering ourselves just to be an instrument in the process of parenting and not getting too much attached to it is one do. That is very, very essential. And one don't would be connected to that is itself, that too much of possessiveness about being a parent of that child. So child is not yours. That should go deep into the heart. And by this I don't mean that to become emotionless, but to understand the reality that that child is also an atma. So not that I'm not the creator of that child. That would be the don't.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There is a comment in the chat box, Ankur sir, about the sanskaras being specifically practiced by Brahmins. I don't think that's the correct interpretation of what you were
Yes.
trying to say.
Yes, sir, because this has been a wrong interpretation that all these sanskars are for Brahmins only. It is equal. It is even said that Janmana Jayate Shudra Samskara Dvija Uchyate. So it is Dvij, the word means second birth. So when all these sanskar are done, so it includes at the conception, when the child is in the womb, as soon as the child is born, the naming, the karna bhedan, the shikha that we keep. So all these things are equally valid for all world, and it is not just for the Brahmins, but for all people in the society.
Yes, and I think there's some kind of misreading or misinterpretation about these aspects in general as well as in particular specific discussions as far as Indian knowledge system is concerned, and we just hope that these misconceptions are clarified by experts like Ankur sir, Rajan sir, Sandeep sir, and Harsh sir. Okay, we'll take a question from Kritika Gupta ji.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार.
सर, मेरा कंसर्न है कि आज के टाइम का जो स्कूल एजुकेशन है और संस्कार और शास्त्रीय पेरेंटिंग कि हम कितना मैचअप कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि स्कूल का सर अलग ही पर्सपेक्टिव होता है बच्चों के साथ. तो मेरा कंसर्न है कि मॉडर्न एजुकेशन प्लस संस्कार या शास्त्रीय पेरेंटिंग की जो आप बात बता रहे हैं, तो व्हाट इज द राइट वे सर? बीच का रास्ता क्या है? क्योंकि एजुकेशन स्कूल्स में हम नहीं बात करते शास्त्रीय एजुकेशन की या संस्कारों की, तो ये क्या हमें कैसे इसको बैलेंस करना होगा?
हाँ, कृतिका जी, very true. Our schools and colleges are really talking about it, but fortunately now some discussions have started to happen in the schools and colleges on these ideas, although it will take a lot of time to reach into all these schools and colleges. So at present, what you can do is orient the child at home because we are talking about parenting. If it was a discussion on teaching with teachers, I talk that many teachers say that what we can do, they come from this family, so what we can do a family. So I would say that it is the role of all the teachers, parents, both the government, everybody is involved. But when we specifically talk about parenting, so whatever best we can do. Second thing is, although slightly um, controversial statement from my side, but we should be very aggressive and very choosy while sending our kids to schools, and what kind of schools. I see why are parents so much submissive. They go for interviews. The child is being interviewed, the parent is being interviewed. We should also ask the principals and teachers to share what is the definition of education, what is the education that they would deliver, what are the profiles of teachers. So that should have happened both ways. One of our teachers, Professor Bhavuk, he's in University of Hawaii. He mentioned about a very interesting story on Guru Pariksha. So in our culture, we had this concept of Guru Pariksha also. So why not we should have a deep discussion with the principals and teachers who are teaching in schools and colleges. But this whole system has become so much submissive that parents are so afraid even talking to teachers about the education and principal. It should be a free discussion, and parents need to know that what is all about things. So you can read some books to get oriented on these dimensions, and then very assertively go to the schools and colleges and talk about the education, the life of the child. Most of the time it is just about homework de diya, maar diya, daat diya, peet diya, ridiculous discussions between the parents and teachers in PTM, while the larger discussion should happen in a very in a very respectful manner. Not to be disrespectful, but those discussions have to happen. So this is my wish. But specifically to your question, what you can do today is just spend some time, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day on this 3S that I spend. So stories, that would be great. Allow some struggling, the sanghars, and you yourself do some puja part, sadhana, whatever you like. So you can start with it with few minutes and then see the change.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kritika ji, for that question. I'm sure many parents like yourself would be facing the same question. In fact, just as an added insight, I've had friends who have taken their children back to the Gurukul system. And fortunately, thankfully, right now in our country, there are many such Gurukuls where there is a blend of the traditional education system with modern education. So I have a friend in Bangalore, and he put his daughter into a typical school. And after a deep realization of what she was learning and how she was being instilled with inferiority complex about her own culture, she would question festivals, traditions, etc. He made this conscious decision to bring her out of that school and place her in a traditional Gurukul, which of course is not completely traditional in that sense, but the focus is more on dharmic education along with subjects, other subjects which students regularly get trained in. So I think a lot of parents are doing that. I have also had friends who have consciously taken the decision to homeschool their children because they are not comfortable sending their children to these modern Western schools that follow a so-called modern Western pattern. So yeah, I think there are. There is Anadi Gurukulam in Tamil Nadu that I know of. There is Vidya Kshetram. I think it is an initiative that I just came to know about. It's in somewhere in Karnataka. So, yeah, Vidya Kshetra Gurukul, Bangalore. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Great. Okay,
There is one question from Nidhi Suriji. I think we
हाँ
can.
जी सर ले लेते हैं, दो और hands raised हैं. So we'll take two more questions and then we'll have to close because all of you have to read the book. That's very important.
Okay. Nidhi Suriji, I think, it is happening with a lot of kids. Very many students just they are copying the what's happening outside. So, right way to make them understand is one thing you can share some importance of good sangati. You can just refer to some stories of how the sangati impacts, and if you can take her to the company of some people uh, who are very friendly to her and not imposing their ideas, just friendly to her, and whose ideas can be emulated. So if the mode of her is to just copy things what others are doing, because sometimes it's not their fault, because there's just so much of media attention, everything out there, that that the young children they feel to get carried away of what others are doing. So if we can if we can bring her to some people who are doing good uh, and who are very friendly to us. So first let the friendship happen, or the connection happen, and then automatically they are praised, etc. So that can be one way in which she does. And then peer pressure is most of the time this is a big problem, because our society celebrates only the professional success, and personal success is rarely shared with them. So if you can meet or talk to people who have contributed to their families, to their personal life, and not just the professional life, then it would make her understand the different dimensions of life which can be done. And specifically, more we can discuss on email or wherever you find suitable, so that more discussion can happen.
Yes, very quickly, just as an aside, somebody requested Sandeep sir's YouTube channel link. So Sandeep sir, if you are there with us, could you please share your YouTube channel link with us in the chat box? I will also put it in our IKS group, so that more people can.
Well, I'm right there.
Okay,
I
okay,
think
great sir. आप रख
I would
दीजिए ना
I
sir
would
chat box में.
I would still like to be a Dronacharya known for an Arjun, So let's not talk about me today. I'll be very glad अगर हमारा जो आज वो है आज शास्त्रीय पेरेंटिंग पर ही रहे. और मैं I still know that Dr. Ankur Joshi will be typing it in the chat
फिर आप
box.
सिर्फ chat box में रख दीजिए, फिर बाद में हम इसको circulate कर देंगे.
I'll put.
Okay. Yes, soft copy of the book, is it available, Ankur sir?
Not yet. I'm working on it. It will be available after.
Okay, okay, great. Participants, please note that I have shared the feedback form link in the chat box in case you missed it in the flurry of messages. I'll paste it again. There's a question by Pradeep Patil ji. Pradeep ji, please unmute yourself. Okay, just a moment. Pradeep ji, आपका कोई question है? आपका hand raised है. Okay, maybe my mistake. Bhakta Vijay Ram ji, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. This is Lakshmi Jagnesh. I am from Chennai. I am
Hello,
working in.
Lakshmi ji, namaste.
Okay. My name is Lakshmi Jagnesh. It's my ID. Bhakta Vijayam Ramakrishna Hari is my ID.
Okay.
And I'm working in IKS school. It's in Chennai. It's come under Anadi Foundation.
That's great.
The school is in Madras Sanskrit College. So it's very nice, the syllabus. And today I'm learning more thing from Ankur sir. And thank you for this too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
sir.
Lakshmi ji.
Thank you.
I think Anadi Gurukulam is doing wonderful work. Of course, they are extensively spread out in terms of school education, but I know that they are also associated and affiliated with universities and colleges. For example, for IKS courses, they have collaborations with, for example, university in my home state, Gujarat. So they're also collaborating with higher education institutions to develop IKS syllabus for faculties. So that's great. So there is one question, and that's the last question we'll take by Arpan Ji. Arpan Parashar Ji, what are pre-birth parenting issues to be taken care by would-be parents so as to foster samskar in the child after birth?
Yes, a very, very prominent thing, I think, Arpanji, that is the root. And in our culture, the fundamentals are more there. So before even marriage, these things are to be practiced. I remember very profound words of Mataji, Dr. Pushpa Dikshit ji. She once I mentioned to her that I am getting married, तो मैंने कहा कि मेरी शादी होने वाली, and I got such a scolding from her that in our times there used to be viva or vyah. So, and she said that this word itself is so prominent to understand, and she said that you should be practicing extreme levels of brahmacharya before your marriage. And then there is one Dr. Krishnakant Shukla, who is a spiritual ecologist. He introduced a very important word. He said that before marriage it's extreme brahmacharya, and after marriage it should be ek nari brahmachari. So this whole idea of self-control, self-restraint in the life that we do. So these are the pre-birth parenting ideas which need to be taken care of. The food that we take, the food we eat, and the responsibility of the adhyatmic ideas. And so again, the marriage, it should not be seen and just a license to do such things. And when the child is going to be born, so the first sanskar itself is like the garbhadhan sanskar. So that itself is an important point to infuse that sanskar in the child. And there are more things which I think we have the positive of time, so Arpitji, we can discuss more.
Yeah, sir, I request you to please share your email ID in the chat box if you're okay with it. Anybody who wishes to reach out to sir,
yes,
please reach out to him on his email. And next week, sir is going to be with us for a faculty development program on IKS research. So 6 days we will have him with us on our platform. So those who are interested, please join that FDP. You will get details in the WhatsApp group that you are a part of. So can we take one last question with your permission?
Yes. I think, yeah, we can go ahead, please.
Yeah, Raji, I allow you that one last question, but I request you to be brief.
Thank you. So about the Kamaphala that you're talking about, I think, in an absolute level, when you consider the world as one family, Vasudhaika Kutumbam, that holds well, it will make a world a better place to live, that kind of parenting. But my question was within the context of the boundaries, political boundaries of our country, right? Day in and day out, I interact with 16 years to 24-year-old students. I see they are all full of tamasic nature. So, in order to protect our country from alien elements, I think we need people who are more in Rajas nature. So there's a difference between talking at an absolute level as Vasudhaika Kutumbam and talking within the scope of our country. So making everybody Saatvik, do you think it will help protect the boundaries of the country?
Nidhi, could you hear?
Yeah, sir, I think what Raj sir was trying to ask is when you explained about the three gunas, he's saying that his opinion is that a lot of the youngsters that he interacts with are of tamasic nature, and in the sense of the geopolitical challenges and socio-economic challenges that we face today, how is it possible at an absolute sense that everyone be of sattvic nature? But I don't think that that's what sir really meant. In the three gunas there is a balance of the three
No,
gunas.
my question was not that. That was not my question.
So can you be little clear and articulate?
Rajji, I think you can type the question because your voice is very not clear.
Okay, am I audible now?
There is some
audible,
disturbance
but
at your end, Raj sir.
Mm,
Can you briefly
okay,
type it out quickly?
yeah.
Yeah, we can take another question. So Ankur sir, lots of congratulations to you on the book. It's a very insightful
Am I
book.
audible now? Am I audible now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. Please be brief.
With respect to the first question that I asked, you talked about the Karma Siddhanta. See, all the things of Karma Siddhanta are applied, or Saatvik bringing up, are applied when we see world as one family, as Vasudhaika Kutumbakam. So, which will make a world a better place to live. With that kind of parenting. But now when we talk about protecting the country and its culture and her culture or heritage, the Sanatana, do you think, Saatvik is the way to bring up people? Most of the students that I see are tamasic in nature, the younger generation. And I think, they should be made a little rajasic, to see that the country is saved. So how does this parenting apply to the political boundaries of the country and the heritage of the country? Not
Sir
us as
has
a
got your
family.
question, Raj sir.
Okay.
Ankur sir.
I got Raj. So when we talk about Saatvik Sanskar and being Saatvik, it does not stops us from taking the action. So this whole idea of Saatvik Sanskar, so when we say it is about Asatoma, Satgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, this is all about the internal dimensions. And as you can see in the olden times, when in Bhagavad Gita, so Bhagwan Krishna discusses all these dimensions with Arjun on the battlefield. And after understanding and getting all these ideas, Arjun engages in a fierce battle. So, which is more of an action orientation. So this whole idea is about internal poise, the balance from within, and the outwardly action which is needed to maybe to protect the country at the borders, or being aggressive in a business, going for mergers, acquisitions, all those things. Nobody stops us from doing this. So Saatvik is not about not being ambitious. Saatvik is not about progress of the country, or not talking about the economic development. It is about the internal state of mind, or the balance, and remaining indifferent to the fruits of action after putting in all the efforts. So this whole idea of Nishkam Karma Yoga is misunderstood, that person cannot plan, person cannot look for higher order things. It is about the internal state of balance which is required with outward dynamism. And this is what Swami Vivekananda also, I'll just conclude very quickly. When he was asked to speak on practical Vedant in Britain, after Chicago, he was invited to UK, and he was asked to speak on practical Vedant. So the first point he said that practical word is not needed as a prefix to Vedant, because Vedant in itself was practiced by many kings, and they were the experts to discuss about Vedant. Rishis and Munis used to go to them. So I think that document is available on Belur Mutt's website, and it can be very useful. So with the paucity of time, I'm quickly answering it. So we can discuss more. I have shared my email. So Rajiv, that would be great. We can take it forward there.
Thank you. Thank you to all our participants for the very interesting questions and for your engaged and enthusiastic participation through the session. I saw one last interesting question by online board, but I think Ankur sir answered it really well. I think in the dharmic tradition, there is no imposition. It's all about having the right discretion as to what one needs to practice according to dharma. Great. So once again, heartiest congratulations to Ankur sir for his wonderful publication. Wish you many, many, many more such publications. And the first question that I asked Ankur sir when I received the book three or 4 days ago was that it's quite short and sweet. And he very rightly told me that these days, putting things in short manner, in crisp and precise manner is the need of the hour, because a lot of us, even though we may like to read longish stuff, but may not have the energy, time, and also the bandwidth to do that. So I think it's great. And I believe that such a book, Ankur sir, should also be translated into multiple Indian languages. And I hope that you get to talk about this book on multiple platforms, especially on mainstream media platforms, on podcasts, because digital media is where a lot of the traction is. And I do hope that these do's and don'ts, the lessons that you have so succinctly put together in this book on Shastriya parenting, reach out to a wider set of parents, to-be parents, teachers, gurus, mentors, elderly people in the family, and also anybody who may not be a parent, who may choose not to be a parent, who may not be a parent due to different circumstances. But I think this would still be a very, very useful read for everyone across the spectrum. So once again, on behalf of my team at NLD, Dr. Pradyuman sir, Dr. Pratibha, Dr. Vikas, and myself, I convey our wishes and gratitude to you. I'm glad that we could do this session, which was a little bit different from all the other sessions and webinars that we keep doing. And of course, many, many thanks to Professor Rajen sir, Sandeep sir, and Professor Harsh Purohit sir for joining us today. I think the session was enriched and blessed by the three of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nidhi. And just to say, it will be available in Hindi also after some time.
That's great. That's great. And I request all the participants, please remain in our WhatsApp group. Please join Ankur sir's FDP from October 6th to 11th on IKS research. If any of you are teaching IKS, interested in IKS research, we also have a very informal collaborative group on IKS research. I will be happy to share it with anyone who wants to join that group. Ankur sir is also a part of that group. And again, this is the book, and we'll soon be sharing a Google form with you so that anybody who's interested in buying a hard copy of the book, you may keep it in your college, school libraries, share it with your peers, and also share it with people in your family, neighborhood, and extended networks. So thank you so much for joining, and it was a lovely session. And I think that it has benefited all of us. Thank you, Ankur sir. Thank you so much.
Really very wonderful. And pranam to you, Rajen sir. Very nice to have you.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Very nice to have all three of you with us. I mean, it's so nice to have all three of you at one platform.
Organizing this session. Thanks, special thanks to you.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. And we just had to reach out to Ankur sir and he immediately agreed. So it's his credit all the way.